Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Matt and it is Fiendish Friday already. Holy smokes, TGIF. Yes, folks. It is finally upon us. It is the weekend. Yes, I hope each and every one of you are going to have a great weekend. Hopefully you get to get out and enjoy the weather. Hopefully it's nice where you're at. I know we got some nice weather ahead of us here in Iowa. I am very happy about that. I do hope you guys have a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk. All that wonderful stuff because life's too short otherwise. And please like, share, and subscribe. I see I'm up over that 290 marker. I'm almost at 300 subscribers. That's awesome, guys. Thank you very much for subscribing and coming in day to day or whenever it is you decide to check out my videos. Thank you for coming in and taking a look at my silly little opinions about different films of such. All right. Oh, and always, I almost forgot. Always look at the description box for more information on the daily films, such as your plot description, your basic plot synopsis, your starring cast, your director, the runtime of the cut I am watching, as long with the rating, if there is a rating for it, as far as like an MPA rating goes. There will be some trivia on there if I find anything worthwhile of mentioning, which today there's a lot of trivia on this one that I could have thrown on there, but I just picked three little things and went with that because they are fun little tidbits to the movie, or to add to this movie, I feel like. And then you also get a link for a trailer in there, which is always fun to check that out in case you haven't seen it or you want to refresh your mind on it. You can go ahead and check that out. It's always there for you guys. Now, we got all that fun stuff out of the way. Let's get on to the movie of the day. Yes, folks. This one is an amazing one. It came out way back in 1986. It is none other than Night of the Creeps. Yes, this is one of my absolute favorites of all time. As you can see, I own two different copies of it. This one here is, I forget who released this one here, but it is the director's cut, which runs at 90 minutes. So and it has a little bit of extra. I mean, obviously it's 2 minutes longer than the theatrical cut, and it's got some other little alternate type scenes. The ending is different. There's just little tidbits here and there that are different between the theatrical cut, which you can find both cuts on this Scream Factory Blu-ray right here. It's got it's a 2-disc Blu-ray. It's got the director's cut on one disc and the theatrical on the other, and it does have a really sweet artwork. It's got that one for one, and then it's you go back over here and you got that beautiful artwork from the outer cover, which I always, if I have a choice, if I have both covers, like if I have a slip cover, chances are the one underneath is going to be the older artwork that I remember it as, not so much the new artwork, which I do really like this one. This is basically old artwork here, so they didn't go too crazy with anything. Unlike this one, this artwork here is absolutely ugly in my opinion. This one's I think it's still in print, and I think it's pretty cheap, but the way to go is to get this one right here. This is the absolute perfect version of it. It's the quality is super crisp, super clean. It has, like I said, it has both cuts on it. It has multiple audio commentaries on there. It has multiple making of featurettes, and it also has multiple interviews and a little casting, or not a casting couch, but a little round table discussion with stars of the cast, such as Steve Marshall, Jill Whitlow, Jason Lively, especially in Tom Atkins. Those four people there, you know, they come in and have a nice little thing, which I absolutely love and adore. Tom Atkins, he is one of those guys that on the screen he is always so good, and off the screen, every little interview I've ever seen of the guy, he is extremely just an absolute gentleman. Really seems like a very nice guy, a genuinely nice guy. Grew up around the Pittsburgh area, so I used to live around there, so I kind of know the area that he was stomping around at, and I definitely am a huge fan of Mr. Atkins, who did other things like, which I did, Creep Show recently. He did The Fog, which is amazing. He had a small part in Escape from New York, a small part in Lethal Weapon. I mean, the guy has done just so many amazing parts that are just absolutely, he's always the top dog in everything that he's in. Just like this one, he is my favorite character in the entire movie. And, you know, if you watch it, you'd probably agree with me because he is so cool. Now, we also got Jason Lively in there, who I most know him for playing Rusty in European Vacation, and this movie, of course. These are really the only two that automatically pop to my mind. He obviously did other things as well, but he's part of that nice little roundtable interview with everybody. Steve Marshall, who plays his friend, I believe that's who plays his friend. He's really good in here. We got Jill Whitlow, who is part of has a bunch of stuff in the special features as well, who is an absolutely beautiful woman then, and she is still an absolutely just stunning woman at her age. She aged very, very well, in my opinion. All right. And like I said, Tom Atkins is in there. Now, let's get on to this amazing little movie itself. What is it exactly about? Well, it's about, you start off at the very beginning with these aliens fighting on a spaceship, and one of them's running around and has some kind of canister in its hands, and is able to put this in an ejection type thing and shoot it out into space, which in turn lands on Earth back. It is 1959, by the way. Lands on Earth, and there's a group of people up at like Lover's Lane, Makeout Lane, Anal Point, all that fun stuff, whatever you want to call it. There's a group of people up there doing their thing. One couple decides they're going to go investigate on it, which, by the way, the girl that's with the couple is Tom Atkins' high school love, like the love of his life, that she dumped him just before this, all of this happened because he's a cop and he has no future, and so she jumped him for this other guy who's supposed to be, he's gonna have a future and blah blah blah, all this and that, which she's kind of she gives off the vibe right away that she's very into him, because at one point, when they go to inspect this device, that what they think is probably like a meteorite asteroid type thing hitting the Earth, which that's automatically what I would have thought, or I would have thought of The Blob or Night of the Creeps or Slither or Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I would think one of those numerous things when a space thing something from space lands on Earth and infects things, except for Killer Clowns from Outer Space doesn't infect people. Invasion from the Body Snatchers as well. But anyways, where was I going? The guy gets out to go inspect this thing. There's this they're like slug looking things. They're very large leech slug kind of creatures, and one of them flies up into his mouth, and he ends up dying right there, blah 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 blah. in the meanwhile, over where the girl is going on, there happens to have been there's another little side story going on right then at that moment where an escaped mental patient has gotten out and he is armed with an axe and he's been killing people as he's been going, and they can't find him. One of those ordeals, and just coincidentally, they're over by where the guy is last seen, and he comes on in there and plays wackadoo with the girl. It's great. I love that part. Why, Matthew? It's so mean. I know, because I'm mean. Just saying. Where was I at? But he was, you fast forward it to 1986, I believe is what I said, 1986, and our two stars were met with one. The Jason Lively character is kind of like your dorky, quiet, shy kid, but when he does open up, he's actually kind of funny. He's kind of does have some, he's very smart, one of those kind of ordeals, like an everyday, like an average good guy, one of those ordeals, and then his buddy, who is a wisecracking guy who is very funny, very outgoing, completely everything opposite of what Lively's character is during the movie until the end of the movie. Roles reverse, blah 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 blah. But that's a whole different thing when we get to the end. But they where was I going? They are trying to get Jason Lively's character is trying to get Jill Wheaton to go out with him, but he thinks the only way that she will is if he joins a fraternity, and so he goes to join the fraternity. Blah 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 blah. They want both of them to go steal a corpse from the mortuary or the morgue, excuse me, and dump it on so and so's fraternity front lawn, like one of those pranks. They went to go get it. They've come across our person that died in 1959 who has been cryogenically frozen. When he comes out of there, or they open it up by accident, but they get the hell out of there, running like screaming like banshees, as the night custodian will tell you, which is hilarious. Every time I see that, for days I'll go screaming like banshees. Oh my god, it cracks me up every single time, even though I've seen this movie a million freaking times. And by the way, Tom Atkins' character, all of his lines are great in there. He's got some of the perfect one-liners. People will be like, Coleman, I think is his name. Oh, hey, detective, no, it's Rocky or Bullwinkle Moose or Bozo the Clown. He's got like a smart-ass attitude, which I really like about him. And he's just got all these great one-liners. His character is just oozes coolness. He is just the bee's knees in this movie. I can't say anything bad about Tom Atkins ever. The guy is an awesome dude, man. Never met him, but I love him. Love the guy. Anyways, so this body from 1959 is now out and about in 1986. Fast forward a pinch, this body ends up walking along till it gets to this one a sorority house. Excuse me, I almost said fraternity. A sorority house, and it drops dead right there. I mean, keels over, I guess. It was already dead, so the eggs in its head hatched. So basically it was done moving the body, and all these slug leech creatures come flying out of its head. Blah 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 blah. that's your setup in your story to go from there. And what they do is when these slugs go into your mouth, these creatures, they basically turn you into a zombie, a walking zombie. And you're under its control until it finally is done growing in your brain, and you are no longer its vessel. It completely kills you off and vacates your brain and goes to infect more, and it just does it in a cycle, more and more and more, and it feeds and makes more and more and more. So it's like a virus. It's it multiplies quickly, which is, it's kind of scary if you really think about it. It's one of those like, holy shit, if it kind of makes me think of the COVID, But anyways, so that's your setup, what you got going on. These zombie-like creatures that are infested with these slugs that, if they get into your mouth, they will turn you into basically the same thing, and so on and so forth. So you got some very fun scenes in here. There's a whole scene where because the Tom Atkins character kills the insane maniac at the very beginning, that the axe wielding escape convict from from the mental asylum. He talks about how he killed him, wrapped him up, and buried him over in a vacant lot across from the sorority that happens to be the same sorority that the dead body landed at, and all those slugs went out, blah, blah, blah. And it happens to reanimate that corpse, and the vacant lot is no longer vacant. It is where the house mother's house, where her pad is, her house pad or whatever, her home. It's basically a house. That's all it is it's just a house. But it comes up through the floor. I remember being a kid, and that scene always scared the hell out of me. But as an adult, I just love it. It's just one of those. It's like you just anticipate the hitting of the axe against the wood floor. It is just so iconic. I feel like this should be one of those movies that should be held up in the A echelon. This is a very good horror film, good film in general, science fiction film. It's got some great comedy in there, and there is a love story which adds to the drama. There is a little bit of every genre sprinkled in this, and there is multiple little sub stories going on here and there. And they're very coherent. It's not like they fumble over each other, and you can't make heads or tails of what's going on. It's not anything bad like that, which is great. They are very move along very smoothly. This movie has a great momentum. As far as like technical side ratings would go, I would give this thing a 4 out of 5. The story is great. Fred Dekker did an amazing job with this, which he is another one of his films that I absolutely love and adore, is obviously The Monster Squad. If any of you people know that one out there, that is an absolute classic and should be shown to like, if you want to watch a horror, bring in a smaller child into the horror genre if they're really interested. Monster Squad is a good place to start because it is so kid friendly and it just works. And if it's one of those, like, it leads to like Goonies, and that's another fun one, and so on and so forth. You could go on a very extensive path on there that could be just it's fun. It's like being a kid again, introducing films. I get giddy about it. I don't know, call me crazy. But as far as entertainment side goes, this thing's a fucking 4. Woo! I just swore. Yeah, I just dropped the F-bomb. It's a 4 out of 5. This is an 8 out of 10 kind of movie. This is solid from beginning to end. Both cuts, both theatrical and director's cut. They're both good. I put down the numbers for the theatrical cut just because I figured most people, when they see it or have seen it, they've only seen the theatrical cut. So I just generally went with the stats of that one, so I didn't. I don't want to confuse too many people on that one. Just to let you know, that is the theatrical cut's runtime on there. The director's cut is 90 minutes, so it is 2 minutes longer. So keep that in mind. Alright guys, 8 out of 10, solid film. I'm going to get the hell out of here. It's coming from that 20-minute mark. I'm going to see you guys on Monday. I have no idea what I'm going to do next week for as far as reviews. There's a couple of them I'm pondering of throwing in there, but I'm not really too sure. Anyways, I love all your faces as always, and have the great weekend, and thrill me, and what else? What else should I say? What else? That's it. Love your faces.